Hello, I'm Danny,
And I'm Jake.
and this is Marvel Talk. Welcome back, everybody, to another spectacular episode of Marvel Talk. A lot of fantastic news coming in the way as we're coming with this episode. Waited a little longer because Jake, he went to an event to go see the first two episodes of Loki, so I figured, you know what? I should probably just wait and watch the actual two when they release, and then we could dive in and talk about it.
That was one of the coolest parts of the event was we got to see both episodes.
Heck yeah, man. And we'll be saving that for the end. So first, figured might as well talk about some of this great news that we're coming in, especially in the DC department.
DC's showing some good stuff, man. I'm salty about Snyder not being able to come back quite yet, but the new stuff doesn't look bad either.
So let's dive in, man. We'll go with the minor stuff first. We saw James Wan was at a panel a while back, and we got the confirmation for the title of Aquaman 2, which was Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I wasn't a big DC comic guy back in the day, so I don't know a whole lot of Aquaman's backstory stuff, so I don't know what the Lost Kingdom is. Of course, the first thing you think is Atlantis, right? But we already are there.
Yeah, I have no idea what that could be in reference to with Aquaman other than Atlantis. That's weird. I don't know what that would be for. Unless it's for, like, where the mom was trapped or something. Like, maybe there's, like, a kingdom of people there. Like, in that alternate realm or whatever. That's the only thing I could think of coming from the first movie.
I would say it's probably a place that got banished or like something happened and then they come back and it's like, no, we're actually the true rulers of the seven seas kind of thing. Because there is more than just Atlantis, right? There's all the other species out there and all the other kingdoms, I guess.
Yeah, there's like the crab people, which were pretty cool, like from that movie. The mermaid people, like the ones who look like a little bit more like fish. Was there one more? I thought there was one more.
I mean, other than
four kingdoms,
just them looking human-like, I think that was.
Oh, there's like the redhead guys,
right?
Yeah, like they're a separate kingdom technically. And then there's maybe the Lost Kingdom is the Trench people, because isn't that like supposed to be like all the banished people go to the trench, and maybe that's what all the trench monsters are.
Yeah,
that could be a thing. Like maybe it has to do with that.
Okay, I guess that would make sense, right? Since they canceled the Trench spin-off movie.
Yeah, so maybe they're just kind of blending it into the second Aquaman.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. I think it'd be cool if it was with the Trench. It'd be curious to see how they would implement Black Manta back into the sequel, because he obviously has to come back, right?
Yeah, Black Manta's obviously got to be a villain coming back. Yeah, I don't know. That could be interesting. Maybe there's some type of weird dimension hopping stuff still going on. If it's like another big adventure story, like I kind of like that could be where Aquaman lives. Is like he's a lot more like sort of adventure based.
Yeah, and that gives us a good chance to really explore the depths of the sea. Just really get more into that, because that was a big highlight of how amazing Atlantis looked right when we first got there.
I loved the first movie with all of the stuff going on that felt very Indiana Jones-esque when they go to like the spot in the desert that's like an old Atlantean city area, you know, like that.
Yeah.
That whole bit was really cool. So if they do more stuff like that, where it's just more like world hopping, crazy Indiana Jones style stuff, I'm way into that. Like, I'm super down.
The next thing, over on HBO Max, we actually got an update for some stuff. First thing, they are going to be the ones to get the Blue Beetle movie that they're going to be working on. Similar to, I don't think we talked about it, but Static Shock is also going to be an HBO Max film.
Oh, that's weird. I guess that's cool. I already have it, so I don't know. Like, I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I knew people were a little upset at Static being HBO Max only instead of hitting the big theater, because it's like, why not?
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to give, just to give HBO Max more DC stuff. Those movies maybe aren't in whatever plan that they have for the DC universe right now.
That could be. Like, maybe they're sort of separate, like how Shazam kind of lives. Like, sort of separate from the DC stuff.
Yeah, like maybe just get it going now on HBO, and then we could just pull them in when they're ready to have them in other movies, or have a more important role for the sequels moving forward.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like maybe if they could come into like one of the main Like if there's ever another Justice League or like a Justice Society movie or something like that ends up on the big screen, like maybe they could pull him into that.
More HBO stuff was we got a teaser trailer for Titans Season 3.
Joker looks super weird.
Yeah, pretty weird, man.
I mean, they don't have any makeup on his face, and maybe that's why he looks weird. Like maybe he's gonna put the Joker makeup on and it'll look a little better, but I don't know. He's just got the weird like they tried to make him look like Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
which I thought was odd. That's an odd choice of stuff. So I don't know what universe the whole thing's supposed to be set in. I have no idea anymore. I don't know what it's connected to.
Well, it's its own thing, pretty much. I remember they just pulled some footage from it for Crisis.
Yeah. Is it connected to Doom Patrol in any way?
I don't know, because Titans, as far as I know, takes itself pretty seriously, and Doom Patrol's a comedy for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how well those two would clash.
I just remember those were like the two that were the DC Universe app deal. So that's why I thought they might be connected, because they were both from that, but maybe they kept them separate. I still got to finish Doom Patrol. I really got to catch up on that.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get into there. Because, it's got the boy Brendan Fraser, right?
Oh, yeah, man. And, I mean, I've seen, like, the first episode, and it's great. That show's on another level from the other DC stuff. Like, it's very good. Very tongue-in-cheek. It feels like that whole crew of people could be, like, a Deadpool analog for the DC universe.
Oh, okay.
Like, the way they got them set up. If they ever get more Doom Patrol stuff. I don't know if it's getting a Season 3 or not. Let's take a look. I wonder. Oh, yeah, it is getting a Season 3. Dope. It's going
nice.
straight to HBO Max. Awesome. It's going to be premiering on the 23rd of September. So there you go.
Yeah, so this teaser, I'm not going to lie, there was some stuff in here that looked pretty cool. I think I've mentioned before in the chats where I'm like, man, is it time to hop into Titans? Because it looks like they're doing some nice stuff.
I really like the first couple episodes of Titans also. I just got to sit down and watch the rest of it. But I really dug it. I thought it was a really fun start to the series.
Yeah, I also like who they picked for an older Bruce Wayne. I forget his name, but he was on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think it's Jorah on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah. Yeah, I really dig him as an older Bruce Wayne. And it looks like he might get back in the suit, maybe? Possibly? Like, we might see him in a bat suit this season? Like, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, because I think for Season 3, I think Jason Todd is supposed to show up, right?
Well, yeah, Jason Todd was first came in Season 2, I think. But this season we're getting the Death in the Family arc.
Yeah, because there's a shot in the trailer where it looks like Joker's just beating him with the crowbar, right?
Oh, yeah. And then, they show Red Hood. Like, Red Hood is in this, it's in that trailer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it, man. Like, they had Deathstroke last season, now they're doing Red Hood this season. I'm like, it's a little bit of a faster timeline for all the Teen Titans storyline stuff, but I don't mind. It's pretty cool.
I don't know if you want to bring it up on the show with the whole Harley Quinn Batman stuff.
You mean Catwoman and the show Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
I'll just say this. I don't like the Harley Quinn show. Haven't liked anything about it. Don't like any of the clips I've ever seen. I refuse to watch it. And this new thing that they wanted to do with it, it cements it even more for me that I never wanted to see it. So I'm just not gonna. There's no reason for me to watch it. Zero. Zip. Nada. And no one can tell me different. If anybody likes Harley Quinn, that's cool. I don't. I just personally do not care for what they're doing with DC characters in that movie. It's like trying really hard to be the Lego Batman movie in the worst way possible. Because the Lego Batman movie is actually fun and good for children to watch. And the Harley Quinn show is not designed for children.
No, it feels like a show that would be on more modern Adult Swim, I guess. At least like the era after I stopped watching Adult Swim. That's what this kind of feels like.
The show has the same vibe that MODOK gave off. And I'm not watching MODOK either. We're not going to Marvel talk that Marvel show. I have no desire to see either show. It lives on its own for me, and it's over there in the corner, not doing anything. Kind of like Batwoman.
They did a lot of advertisement for MODOK. A lot of podcasts I listened to had nothing but MODOK ads for like 2 weeks.
Holy moly, that's crazy.
Yeah, they were really pushing that show.
It's all about a divorce. I don't even know. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's about his family. That's all I really know. And it's a comedy, and it has Patton Oswalt voicing MODOK.
Which is a really good choice. Like, Patton Oswalt as MODOK is a great choice. It's just, it sucks that it's the show that it is. I don't... It would be really fun if it was just him fighting superheroes every episode, but instead it's about him being Peter Griffin.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
All I can say is that I definitely I fall on the side that tends to agree with Warner Brothers on that situation.
Oh, do you?
Their choice. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Comic books, I think these days can get away with a lot more than they used to be able to. But I think in the realm of television and stuff, there's still a little bit more eyes on it, especially if it's on a streaming service where parents probably don't screen that stuff for their kids as much. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, my thing with the whole situation with Batman and Catwoman in that show is that Harley Quinn, the show, like I'm in the same boat as you. I do not like that show. Every clip I've seen is awful, in my opinion. It's just the type of thing I don't want to see these kind of characters be in, like with the humor and all that. It just doesn't really fit with them. But I will say, in that show, they've already gone with those topics already. There's specific, detailed dialogue about it. But I could see the thing with it is that, well, those are villains that are talking about it, not heroes. Because there is one scene with Batman and Wonder Woman, but it's just like very tongue-in-cheek, nothing too serious.
Oh, it's the stupid Poison Ivy scene. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like I guess that's the limit that they go. Well, but then again, like Robin was talking to Batman about sex, I think, or something.
The show's definitely like on a raunchier level than I think DC should ever be. But, you know, that's preference, I guess. Some people enjoy that.
Yeah, it does really well, right? Like, it's pretty popular for it to get...
Well,
I don't even know what season it's on, like 3 or something, right?
Yeah, to me, it's the same type of thing as, like, Teen Titans Go, where I thought Teen Titans Go was a little, like, not super respectful to, like, the characters it was portraying. And I think the movie of Teen Titans Go is far superior to the show. I think the movie's great and really funny. But the show itself just is like, it doesn't have the same tone as the movie for me, and I think it's because there's just so many episodes, and it's just very, I guess, annoying. It's the word.
It's like that. I guess you could say like it's hyper humor,
and I just don't think that that's the thing with those that should be done with those characters. I guess, yeah. But you know, to each their own. If people enjoy it, they enjoy it. But I personally, I'm not on the side of the show at all.
I guess it's funny that DC's so hard on it when you go to the 90s and see what they did. Like, all the examples you see on Twitter, right? Like, there's that, and then, of course, Batman Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Like the opening, like, I guess the prologue for that movie, right? That was
but that was a totally new thing written for the movie. Like, that never happened in the comic books. Like, that whole scene, that whole Batwoman story, or the Batgirl story that happens at the beginning.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's a modern thing that DC approved of for a theatrical animated thing.
And I still don't. I didn't like it in that either. Like, I'm not saying that was a good example of it, because I didn't think it was. Like, when that scene happened, I was just like, are you for real? We go back to the other Batman movie they made just recently, which was Batman and Harley Quinn. That was the animated series one, right?
Oh, right, like, with Nightwing.
Yeah, and Harley Quinn and Nightwing have like a whole thing happen, which I thought was terrible, disgusting, and really just not. I hated it. I did not like that at all. I think it's cool that Warner Brothers finally was like, they put their foot down on a Batman property and said, you can't do this anymore with the characters. And I think that that's fine, because I didn't like it in any of the other things they did it in. I don't know. It sort of feels like it's just like Warner Brothers putting their foot down and being like, all right, we're not doing this anymore. Like,
gotcha,
we've done this for like 3 movies, and this is like, we're over it. Like, we got to have a better image for these characters. Because I'm just thinking of like, what if Disney did this with like any of their Marvel heroes in a cartoon?
Disney definitely would not be okay with that.
I'm on that side of it. I think I'm feeling that direction with it. So
Okay.
And Zack Snyder can post whatever he wants on his Vero, and that's cool. But I'm not down with that. I don't jive with it.
I mean, it is very Snyder, though, right?
It is. It's quite Snyder of him to do.
We're getting a lot of set photos and teasers for the upcoming films. I like what DC's doing right now. Like they picked up this trend of just showing the emblems of the suits. I think that's a nice way to tease out what's going on.
I really like it. I really dig the we talked about it last episode, but the Michael Keaton symbol looked really good, and then they revealed the tease of the design for Supergirl in this new movie, which was really good looking, I thought, in the teaser. And at first I thought they were going for like the New 52 look, but I found out that it's actually Laura Lane Kent just looks like that.
Do you know what that character's all about? Because I'm not super familiar.
Yeah,
with that
Laura
one.
Lane Kent is Clark Kent's daughter.
Oh,
in the comics.
okay.
She's like she's a character from the far, far future, like Legion of Superheroes era future.
Okay.
Which, if the Legion of Superheroes shows up in the movie universe because of this movie, I'm gonna lose it, man. Like, if she just pulls up and she's like, yeah, I'm part of the Legion, and she shows the ring, I'm gonna be like, get out, it's over. DC's gonna win. Like, that's it. Like, make a Legion here, make a Legion movie. I'm into it. I'm down. So I'm pretty stoked. I don't know. I really dig this version of Supergirl being used in the movie because she's far different from the regular cousin of Superman character.
And it does make sense, right? Because they're time traveling in this movie.
Yeah. So it's going to be real interesting to see if she's from like another timeline, like if she's from a different universe or if she's from the same one as Michael Keaton. Obviously she's showing up in scenes with both of them in it, because Michael Keaton's in those set photos with some fabulous hair. It's looking real good.
Yeah, man, he's rocking that old school hairstyle he had for his Batman films. Yes.
I'm super into it. And I love Flash and his little I just went to court outfit.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. He looks like he just got back from a hearing, or like a bad job interview, which, that seems to be the hallmark of his character.
Yeah, it's on brand with Ezra Miller's. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm digging the character. Don't know about the suit though. Suit's looking okay.
Yeah, the set photos make the suit look kind of weird. Like you mentioned specifically, right? There's this thing with like in the abdomen area of the suit that looks a little questionable.
Yeah, it just looks like little lumps. It doesn't look like actual muscle definition. So I don't really know what they're going for with that.
Yeah, and I said in the chat that it could be with the harness because in those set photos, it looks like she's gonna have some flying stuff because she has the harness equipped. But
yeah,
looking back at it kind of doesn't look like it either, right?
I'm really hoping there's some post production happening on that suit to kind of smooth that out a little bit. Maybe would be cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they would kind of have to, right? Because just to get more of detail into the suit.
Yeah.
Because looking at it, it kind of looks like it's thinnish material. Just
yeah,
the way it wrinkles around her neck.
It looks far more jumpsuity. It's probably going to have maybe similar issues to, Falcon's suit from his new Captain America one, having the huge neck bubbles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had to tighten them up with some CG, which I think looks really bad, and I don't know if that's why the suit looks weird.
And this could also be the suit that they wear for the stunts.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. So maybe there's going to be a little bit of a difference once they're actually showing the costume full tilt. Because there was all kinds of complaints about Spider-Man's suit in Homecoming when they first started showing set photos, but it was like, it's a stunt suit. It's specifically made looser for the actor to move better in it. That way they can actually do flips and all kinds of other moves and stuff. And then it didn't matter anyway, because they CGI'd over the suit the entire movie. So, like,
yeah. Well, I do know for movies, the main reason they shoot like that is to get the light references on the suit, so that way they can, match it and all that. But when stuff looks good already, why not just keep it? Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. But I think this new suit will look better. I think we'll get there. I just think that we're just seeing the set photo versions of it, and it doesn't.
Yeah, we're just seeing early rough stuff right now.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have a cape because they're gonna probably CGI it in or Velcro it to the back, like you pointed out.
Yeah, on the back, there's a shot of her back, and there's like these looks like Velcro patches all on the sides near her shoulder blades. But other than that, I still appreciate that they're going with the Man of Steel design for the S and just like the material that it kind of looks like.
I'm way into that. It really makes me hope that we'll see maybe just like a hint of Cavill in this movie. I would hope that he can actually show up in it, but I'm not going to hold my breath right now. Unless they're just going to hold that back for like the biggest surprise of the film or something.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, they could just pull out like, oh, here's a family photo that she has if they go to the Kent farm and she's there kind of thing or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or maybe like Keaton's Batman could bring up to speed of what's happened in the time gap from their universe to his, like what's the differences, and we could see like some CG shots like that.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine we'll have some smart talk from Batman happening.
Right on, man. And then, of course, the other emblem that they teased was Flash's suit himself, which looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm really liking the look of it. So I'm hoping it's. I hope that look translates to the whole thing. I'm curious if they're gonna go for more of a streamlined look, or if they're gonna try and stick to a more armored look like the first suit.
It's probably more of the former, right? Because based off the concept art we got.
That's right, huh? Because there's a Keaton and Flash image, right?
Yeah, it's Keaton, Affleck, and Miller all together in their suits. Yeah, that was at the DC Fandom event last year.
Yeah, okay. So I see. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more streamlined this time around.
Yeah, but the lightning bolt specifically, I think, looks really nice. I love the detail into the white background that it has.
Yeah, it's looking real good.
Yeah, gotta give it DC right now, man. They're really killing it with the suits compared to Marvel.
Yeah, right, I gotta say, they all look very unique, too. That's like a thing that I like about them, is that they're not all just... They don't look like they all came out of the same dude's design closet.
Yeah, and it all still feels like it makes sense when they come together in a lineup shot.
I'm curious how Ben Affleck's gonna fit in so far, because we haven't seen him in any set photos, I don't think, yet. So...
Yeah, I will be patiently waiting for those.
Yeah, I'm curious how where he's gonna pop up in this movie. Watch him green screen it all from his house. That'd be great. There's one more thing to talk about with Supergirl. The symbol on her chest does not have the same writing as the Superman one.
Oh, right. It's a little different, yeah.
Yeah, the Kryptonian writing. Nobody knows what it says yet. They haven't said, but it's definitely different than Clark's, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I think you're the one who sent it in the chat, right? That there's the actual interpretation of the glyphs or whatever.
Yeah, I saw this on Instagram because, yeah, as you mentioned, like they're different. And I didn't know this, but when they were designing Cavill's suit, Snyder wanted a quote to be written on the S as it goes through the curve, which kind of reflects of, Clark's situation of being an alien on Earth. And the quote was, "Where we had thought to stand alone, we will be with all the world."
It's super poetic. He's a smart dude, man.
He really is, man. Yeah.
He's on some deep levels for some of this stuff. I really dig it. He's pretty good at what he's doing. I want to know what the new one says. I really do.
Yeah, so is it it's just the same typography, right, for the Kryptonian language, I'm guessing?
I guess. I don't know exactly what part is the Kryptonian language. I guess it's like the swirly bits around the main line going down through it, right? Like,
yeah, that main center line through the middle section of the S.
yeah,
That's the Kryptonian stuff. But I guess, yeah, looking at the official post, you can't really see too much detail into it.
yeah. So it would be kind of tough, I think, to translate just based off of that picture. But I'm sure there's somebody out there working on it.
So right on, man. Yeah, going back to Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Yes, my boys, my babies. Look at them. They're so pretty. David F. Sandberg, man. I love how involved he is with this movie. I like how open he is about talking about it too. Like, it's great. Like, he's a really good filmmaker, man. I really dig it.
Yeah, he popped up on he was on Corridor Crew a while back, and they broke down some stuff from the Shazam film. I'm like, that's cool, man, that he could come in and they could do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was really neat. Because there aren't a lot of other big filmmakers that would do that, working on superhero stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think it all just translates back to, like, the vibe I got from the big premiere for the first one was just, like, how passionate everybody working on it was. And just how excited and happy they all were to be there and stuff. Like, that really still... You can tell David Sandberg is still there with that feeling, you know? Like, he still feels that.
Yeah, shouts out to him, man, for posting an official, like, high-def photo of the Shazam family in their new suits.
Yeah, whew, that's just nice. Like, that's how you, like, and and I just loved the way they teased it out too. Like, it was just so well done. Like
the video with Zachary Levi.
Yeah, the video with Zachary Levi, and then having a couple set photos drop right after, and then, like, now we're like, oh, full group shot set photo. Like, man, they look great. They look so good.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed is how it pops on the photo with the contrast.
Yeah,
right? It's such a darker color compared to the first film, which I think is great.
There's like an extra level of maturity being shown through this, I think, where it's just like the first movie was definitely a lot more childlike, and I dig this visual representation of the Shazam family getting older and their ultimate forms changing because of that. Like, I really dig that might be the case of what's going on. Like, the more they learn and the older they get, like, the more detailed and more sophisticated their costumes are going to end up looking.
Yeah, so I mean, more or less, they all kind of take the same form as the prior film. Except for Mary's suit. She has a pretty much new redesign.
Mary and, oh gosh, the purple one. Their suit designs are both very different.
Oh, you think hers is too? Because I'm looking at the side-by-side. It kind of looks the same. Well, I guess the skirt's gone.
Yeah, she didn't have a full cape like the other ones did. I think she only had it off of one shoulder.
No, she had one. It just wasn't... It just looks smaller, I think, because of her build.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is the way the cape goes over her shoulders, it's more spread out, whereas the other one, it kind of just goes over in a smaller area. So I guess that's why it doesn't really look like she's wearing a cape.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right here, and yeah, okay, I see what's up. Oh yeah, it's definitely because it goes out further on her shoulders. Like, having her shoulders covered like that definitely changes up the look. So her suit got a little bit of a redesign, but Mary's is like totally different, like 100%. Like the big neckline coming up now is different. Now she has sleeves instead of having open arms. But it looks good though. Like, it looks really good.
Yeah, because the first film, it just looks more like the classic look in the comics where it's just Shazam's, but she's wearing a skirt.
Yeah.
And this one, it takes its own whole identity, which might be my favorite design out of all the suits. I mean, Of course, Levi still looks great in his, but yeah, this one is just, it really stands out when she's standing next to the rest of the cast.
Yeah, it really pops out of, like, it. They all have, like, really nice little touches too. I like that Pedro's suit is it's silver and green now instead of like a gold, like, all the way through. So he's got a little bit more pop going on. It's the same thing with Billy and Eugene, or Freddy's and Eugene's suits too. Like, they've got silver boots and gauntlets. as opposed to gold, like Shazam's here, like Billy's.
And, I will say, like you mentioned in our chat, how the silver and the blue kind of doesn't really look the best.
I just don't like the gauntlets. I think just across the board, I don't like them. Like, I don't think they look good on anybody's suit.
Too much detail, right? Kind of thing.
It's not that there's. I just think they look too futuristic.
Okay.
I think is the thing. Like that's kind of why I like them in the first movie, is that they're a lot more ancient looking, which is kind of translates to the Greek mythology stuff and that kind of deal. But I think these gauntlets look a little too much like something Batman would have made, like in the Batcave. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, they don't look like terrible. Like, they look fine with these suits. Like, they look just fine. I just prefer a more mystical design to Shazam stuff, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like something that feels a little bit more like it was created in some ancient cave, and it's a lot more, it's been around a lot longer than modern day technology stuff.
And then, of course, the other biggest thing when it comes to this is Mary Marvel herself.
Yes.
It's actually the actress who plays her before they transform, which is Grace Fulton, who great person, right? We met her for a bit at a con.
She was really cool at WonderCon back in 2019, baby.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Was it 2019?
It was.
That's Shazam came out in 2019?
Yeah, that's the year the movie came out.
Oh, man, yeah.
It feels like it was a lot longer, but...
Yeah, times are crazy, right?
But, I love that Grace Fulton just gets to play the character now, because she's an adult, Like, compared to the rest of the cast, like, her character is now an adult. Like, I'd imagine we're going to have a bit of a time jump between the first and the second movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's going to be in college for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And, I don't know. I always thought it was a little weird that they picked a different actress for the first movie.
Yeah. I always thought it was kind of strange that she changed in the first one.
It would make sense that it would still just be her, but she has the powers now.
Yeah. I almost wonder if it was a time issue. Like, maybe she couldn't be there for them shooting certain things when they got to the final suits or something. Like, just in terms of, like, an overall schedule thing.
Maybe. Yeah, because I can imagine that probably was, like, 2-3 days of filming?
Yeah, probably. And then they would have... But then they would have had to, like, develop a suit, like, based around her build and everything, and... but they definitely had the other lady casted.
She could have been filming something else, too, around there.
Yeah. Maybe it was to make the impact of them all changing bigger, like when they all like finally do get the change. Like there's like it's like, oh yeah, no, we're all not the kid actors. Like maybe that was the effect they were going for. I don't know. We should reach out to David Sandberg and find out.
He did bring it up, right? Because it's such a big deal. He says, but her makeup and hair will be slightly different when she's super, so nobody will ever recognize her. And he says like, hey, if it works for Wonder Woman.
So I'm pretty excited though. This is all looking great. I'm loving the suits. The cast is all back. Like it's awesome. I'm loving Zachary Levi posting videos from set and stuff from inside his trailer, and it just looks like they're having just the time of their lives making this movie, and I'm into it.
Yeah, it really is great when we could see the cast having a fun time, right? Like before Snyder Cut came out, they dropped all those bloopers essentially of the crew having a fun time.
Yeah, like of all the actors just palling around and stuff. Like that's the kind of stuff I love when I see movies getting made.
And then earlier today, right, we got another set photo for Shazam, which was Zachary Levi talking to a character that's going to be in the movie. It's like in between takes, he's talking to this older woman.
Oh, right. That looks like she's some type of crazy Greek or Norse thing or whatever. Like, I don't know what's going on with that.
Was it this movie that they said they were having an original villain or something? Oh, wait, here we go. Calypso is... Okay, I think they're saying... Yeah, Calypso, the character, is going to be the villain, and they have... Let's see, they have the actress's name here. Let me see if this is her.
Somebody says in the comments that it's the daughter of Atlas. Oh, that's neat. Because Atlas is one of the powers, one of the people he has powers from, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Atlas is the stamina. Okay, cool. Ooh, maybe he'll have like scenes where he's communing with the different gods that give him the powers and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember seeing this article back in April. Dang, I don't know how we missed this. Back in April, Lucy Liu was casted for the film.
What?
Yeah,
What?
and she's playing the villain Calypso, which is Atlas's daughter. Dang, how did we miss this?
So is that Lucy Liu? That's not Lucy
No,
Liu.
this actress in the set photo is Helen Mirren.
Oh, that's Helen Mirren. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Who maybe is playing the mom? Oh, no, actually right here in the same article talking about Lucy Liu, it says Helen Mirren is Hespera.
Oh, okay.
Dang, how do we miss this stuff?
I don't know.
Oh, Hespera is also a daughter of Atlas.
Ah, okay. So there's going to be two daughters of Atlas. Interesting. Well, that'll be cool. That'll be pretty
Oh,
cool.
and it says there's going to be, is this even confirmed? Because it's saying she's the sister, but not to Lucy Liu, but to a different character. Yeah, I guess Rachel Zegler is also in the film. Oh, yeah, I think I remember seeing her tied with Shazam. Briefly touched on this because, yeah, she's from West Side Story. I think we mentioned that.
Oh, the younger actress.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we did. We talked about that. Yeah.
Oh, right, because I think it was her character specifically they were not giving details in. Okay, yeah, so Fury of the Gods means there's going to be more than one god showing up in here.
That's pretty cool.
That's going to be great, because you know what that means? We're actually going to get a bigger set piece at the end with all the Shazam family fighting, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, that's going to be good. Okay. I'm into that. That's going to be a fun time. Also, I was looking at the overall suit designs again, and they sort of brought back the boot designs from the original concept images of him from the first movie. Yeah, like their initial design of the boots in the first movie was a little bit more comic booky.
Right.
And now they have returned to that. They've come back around.
So yeah, super hyped for Shazam as well.
Oh man, I cannot wait. This is probably the most look forward to sequel I have other than Venom 2 right now. So because
Yeah.
Shazam 1, as you're probably well aware, it was one of my favorite superhero movies that's ever been made. I cosplay him all the time. Got to go to the freaking red carpet premiere of the first movie. I really hope they do the same thing with the second one, because I would love to go a second time. If we end up going to LA Comic-Con, we will probably get to meet the boy himself yet again, because he will be there.
Yeah, they just announced a while back Zachary Levi, one of the first big guests for LA Comic-Con.
Yep.
As we're coming back to that, yeah.
And I am definitely buying. I'm buying a picture. I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm taking a picture with him.
So right on, man. And before we end DC, I forgot to bring this up. I missed it on my show notes here, but there's a rumor for the Flash film. Grant Gustin may be showing up for a quick cameo.
You know what would be really cool is if Barry at some point in this movie has to run through the Speed Force again, and he runs into Grant Gustin while he's running through the Speed Force. And they like run together at some point.
That'd be cool.
Because seeing them in the same room is neat, but I'd love to see them actually like doing the full sprint, like in the Speed Force together. That would be really neat.
So, all right, man, I think with that, that'll wrap up DC news.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else DC-wise to talk about. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
nothing.
I guess there was that one Green Lantern news bit from Star.
Oh, I figured
Stargirl.
you didn't want to bring that up.
It's Green Lantern something, man. It's something. I'm not super excited, but it's a Green Lantern something. So whatever. They're gonna have the daughter of Alan Scott on Stargirl, which I guess she's a Green Lantern in the comic books. That's part of just the regular Green Lanterns. I don't really know what her backstory is. I don't know. But cool, whatever. They're getting a Green Lantern out there finally. Thank you. Just make it Kyle next time, or John, or Hal, or any of the main Green Lanterns. Pretty please. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, like we've said it before. It's just one of those weird things that DC likes to do. Like, they like to hold on to their A-listers for no real reason.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't get what they're saving him up for, because it's just like nothing's coming out. You gotta release something, man. Come on.
And especially because like they'll bring in the A-list villains
Yep.
for other characters to fight and storylines. Like with Supergirl, like it's all a bunch of Superman stuff.
Oh yeah, it's Lex Luthor, it's Brainiac, it's Zod, it's every Superman villain you could want in a
Yeah,
Superman
I mean they did
show.
the Red Sun storyline
Oh my gosh, I
with
couldn't.
her, right? It was the
Yeah,
Red Daughter.
But no, she's German that time though. She's not Russian. See, that's where it's different.
Oh, was it German?
I think so. I thought they did that, or am I wrong? Because I thought she was Nazi Supergirl.
Oh no, sorry, you're thinking of the crossover.
Oh yeah.
Earth X, yeah, where that was taken over by the Nazis. Yeah, no, in the Supergirl show itself, at the end of when did I stop watching that show? Season 3, I think.
God, I don't know.
There was something with Supergirl getting cloned that she had to fight her clone, which was the Bizarro stuff, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, they even did Bizarro in Supergirl? Come on.
Yeah, guess what? They also did Cyborg Superman.
Oh my God.
But it wasn't Superman that they picked. It was John Jones for some weird reason.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
The last time I watched the show, the teaser for the end of the season was the Red Daughter, because there was another clone that crash landed in Russia.
Oh
and,
wow.
I guess
Okay.
she fights her in the next season or something. I stopped watching because that's,
Well, that's just silly. Like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy, man. They'll like to pull all that stuff but the characters.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get DC's business model with that. I mean, they're making an Hour Man movie. I don't know. Like, who asked for it? Somebody. I didn't, but they're making it, so whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I've been with DC's weird movie lineup.
So, all right, man. Before we actually touch Marvel, we should also talk about some new trailers that dropped. Aside from Marvel and DC and other comic book stuff, we, of course, are fans of My Hero.
Yes. Oh man, these new trailers, dude.
Yeah, man. So we got the trailer for season 5. I guess the second half, right?
Yeah. The next part of the arc or whatever.
Yeah, it's looking real good. One thing to note about it is that in the manga, the way the arcs go, they're changing the order up here, and it's the Endeavor.
I don't know what they call it, but I know is it the Endeavor Hawks arc? Is it the Hawk?
Oh, Endeavor Agency arc. That's what it is.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and in the manga, there's actually an arc prior to that, which is more commonly known as My Villain Academia, as that arc kind of focuses more on the villains. Not to get too spoiler heavy with that for the anime fans out there, but yeah, so they're changing the order, and I think it makes sense because this Endeavor arc is shorter than that one. That villain arc just makes more sense to have as a season finale kind of thing. Yeah, because the way that arc ends in the manga is really good, and I could see that is what they would want to do for the end of season 5.
It's just to have a big bombastic ending type of deal.
Yeah.
Sweet. Does it have anything to do with the trailer that was shown
For the movie?
for season 5? Like because there's
no.
there's the little teaser that's Shigaraki and like an entire city block gets like blown up.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, because that was the season 5 trailer that I saw. Was like just a teaser with just that, and that's all they showed. Is there another season 5 trailer for like the next part?
Yeah, this is the other one where it focuses more on the hero agency stuff, which are the 3 main boys, which coincide with the film, right? So that's Bakugo, Midoriya, and Todoroki.
Yeah.
As they all go under Endeavor's agency, and they all try to be better heroes by learning from him. Because as we see in the show, right, he's one of the most dedicated when it comes to being a hero.
That's a season trailer? I thought that was the trailer for the movie. Was them
No,
because they have stealth. Is that the stealth suit stuff that they do in the
no,
movie?
the stealth suits one is for the movie.
That's for the movie. Okay, then I haven't seen...
this trailer has them in their normal suits.
Oh, okay, then I haven't seen that trailer yet then.
Oh, okay, I'll post the link in the...
Alright, that looks pretty tight. Dope. Starts on June 26th? Whoa! That's like this week. Whoo, that's this Saturday. Dope. Okay, that's cool. I just finished the newest episode last week, so that's pretty cool that it's not that long of a break until the next set of episodes. I dig that a lot. That's very nice.
Oh, okay, this makes sense. So someone in the comments of the trailer says the reason they changed the order is probably because the Endeavor agency will actually tie into the third movie that's coming out.
That makes a lot of sense because Endeavor is in that trailer with Hawks doing all the stuff. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, that makes... Yeah, so it's just... Yeah, to help promote the film. Okay.
Cool. That's kind of neat, though. That does that mean the movie is going to be canon?
I will say that could be a thing. I mean, the tricky thing about this third movie, though, is the fact that Midoriya is wanted for mass murder.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a pretty big plot development, and I don't know if that's in the manga at all. So, is that...
No, it is not in the manga. Yeah.
Then this is probably not going to be very canon, I would imagine.
But, okay, I will say, though, there is a time skip in the manga.
Okay.
After a certain arc, so this could happen... Well, I don't think it could happen between there, though, because just of the context of what happens pre-time skip.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one to see how the movie turns out, I think.
I will say this, though, there will probably be parts of this movie that will be canon, because one of the chapters we got a while back did confirm that the first movie is canon.
The one where they met All Might's buddy?
Yeah, in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, they confirmed it in one of the more recent chapters, and then Connor reminded me that I missed in one of the panels of 2 arcs ago, I think. They also confirmed that the second movie's canon because a certain character shows up in that panel.
Is it the main villain of the movie, or is it one of the other villains?
Yeah, it's what was his name? Nine?
Yeah, because he had 9 quirks.
Yeah. He showed up in a panel.
Oh, that's tight. That's really cool.
And he popped up in one of the panels. No dialogue or anything, but it was a shot of him clearly.
Ooh, that's cool. Huh? Interesting. So he's all right. So Bakugo getting One for All at some point was real. That actually happened. That's
it could be.
Huh.
Because with the One Piece movies, as an example, the 10th movie called Strong World, that movie's not canon, but the main villain that they fight, Shiki, is canon.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then in the newer movie, Stampede, I think the main villain in there is also canon as well.
Okay.
But that movie can't be canon because just the characters that show up, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Plot-wise. Yeah. So it could be one of those things, too, because I think the power transfer thing that they both did at the end of that movie to fight Nine is a pretty big deal to not have in the show. Yeah, but My Hero, man, really killing it right now.
Yeah, I'm way into it. I did see that spoilery image of the newest chapter, and I don't know what it ties into or whatever. I didn't read into it, but it looked really cool, and it's a very interesting place to take one of the characters of the show.
Yes, all I can say is you are not ready to see what happens in My Hero. I only read the manga. I haven't watched the anime too much.
Okay.
But right now it's the best it's ever been. Honestly, this is such a good route for the series.
Gosh, that's good to hear. I love
everything is really, really solid on what's going on. We're really getting closer to the final setup for the ending of the story.
Oh yeah? We're actually going to see the ending happen? Ooh,
yeah, it's
cool.
Like the arc prior to where it's at in the manga, I thought oh my gosh, are we ending it now? It kind of felt like that was what was going to happen.
Oh dang.
But no, there's still room for more stuff to go on before we hit that final stretch of the series. But yeah, just season 6, it's gonna be incredible when that gets animated.
I'm super stoked. That's gonna be awesome.
And then the movie World's Hero Mission will be coming out August. I think it's at 6th. Yeah. Oh, and plus the new costumes that they're wearing.
Yeah.
Look so cool. I love how they sort of redesigned Midoriya's suit.
Yep.
A bit with the hood.
Yeah, I really dig it.
Right on, man. So that's it for the My Hero talk. I mean, there's really nothing else to get into aside from those trailers. But I'm like, oh, of course we have to bring that up.
Oh, yeah. I do gotta say that the last episodes that I saw, like the thing that just happened is Midoriya and them just finished up the 2 class battle, like Class A versus Class B competition.
Yes, yes.
So Midoriya has started discovering about, spoilers for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, but Midoriya started discovering that he's got extra powers stored within One for All, which I think is super interesting.
I guess that also makes sense why the Endeavor Agency arc is coming in right after that, because that's sort of the focus with Midoriya's arc in there, is he wants better control overall with his powers, because, you know, he can't go full 100%.
Yeah.
He can only do, I think it's, 30%?
I think he said 35 was the highest
35.
he can hit now. Yeah, I think he's at 35%.
Yeah, so he just wants a better control so he could get more output from that.
Nice. Yeah, because those shadow tendril things, man, those are so rad. When he used them to stop Shinzo from hitting him with the pipes, that was so good. My gosh, that was great. And just the whole thing of like Midoriya controlling these new powers by using his heart and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, that's the kind of superhero stuff I like. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
So, all right, man, I think with that, we can finally hop into some Marvel news that we got. Yeah, not a whole lot, but we may have the villain for the Kraven the Hunter movie. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, what was that? It was Chameleon is rumored to be the main villain of the Kraven the Hunter movie, which I think makes total sense for a Kraven villain, because Chameleon would be able to disguise as whoever, but Kraven can smell Chameleon still. Like, it wouldn't matter what Chameleon looks like. Kraven would still know who they are. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's the idea that I see coming from that. And I like that it's 2 Spider-Man villains in one movie. Like, we get Chameleon and Kraven. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm curious if they'll have Chameleon make any crazy cameos happen. Like, if they'll have him transform into, like, an X-Men actor or something. Like, I don't know.
Oh, something fun.
Yeah. Like, maybe Chameleon will be a bit more of a fun character to Kraven's, like, dour, depressing version of the character.
But I think that's cool. Yeah, get another Spidey villain to fight. Nice. And that was pretty much it for that. And let's see. I have mixed feelings on it, but E3 happened, and we got the reveal of a Guardians of the Galaxy game coming from Square Enix.
I think it looks really tight. I think it looks really cool. I love that it's just a single-player game. It makes me very happy, because that was my biggest problem with the Avengers game, is that it had to be multiplayer. So they had huge design constraints around the game.
Yeah,
but I think this being just a single story, that's a really good choice. I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing I'm bummed out about is you only play as Peter Quill. You don't play as the other Guardians.
I'm curious because it looks a lot like the combat system from Final Fantasy VII, and I'm wondering if there's going to be an ability later to swap.
Well, there will be button prompts to have the other Guardians do stuff while you're fighting.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. The rest of the time, you're just going to be Star-Lord with his 2 blasters,
okay.
I guess.
Because I know Final Fantasy VII, like the remake version, does that, where there's button prompt things to make your fellow characters do stuff, but then you can also switch to them, like on the fly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if they'll add that in later. Like, maybe they're just showing the demo from Star-Lord's perspective, but you'd be able to switch between any of the 5 characters.
I mean, I hope that's true, because if you're going to have an ensemble cast like that, you should be able to switch off of them. And even though it's not the same a team making it that did Avengers, but you have a game like Avengers where you play as all the heroes in there.
Yeah.
So having another game do that, but limit to you only having one,
yeah,
would kind of suck.
It's a really weird like way to take the criticism of having too much multiplayer aspect of the Avengers game, and they're just like, fine, it's single player and you only play as Star-Lord. There, are you happy? And people are like, no. But I don't know. I still kind of dig it. I really like the look of the game. I love Star-Lord's jacket in it, like just having a big fat like just patch on the back with his name on it. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's Star-Lord. That's great.
Yeah. Character design, my only complaint is Drax, just the way his red is.
Yep.
It looks super bad. I don't know why they went that route.
Yeah, it's definitely different for Drax. I think he looks a little too just single colors. I think if they had just pulled the designs from the Telltale games for some of these guys, like, it would have looked great. I don't know if you've played the Telltale game yet.
No, but I have seen their designs in there though. And yeah, that's more comic book accurate, at least for Drax anyways, with the red on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, at least the color's good on Drax. I dig the color, at least. But yeah, I would definitely agree. I think that it's just too much red on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gamora looks good though.
Yeah, she looks fine.
Yep.
I always like how they don't change too much with her look, but they do enough to make it unique.
Yeah.
Every time.
And I like that they used her white space armor suit too. That was pretty cool.
Yes. I'm a big fan of the white armor suit.
Yeah, I think it makes Gamora look very striking in a design sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we're gonna see a Gamora in the future in the movies have that suit. But I also think that suit looks too much like the nanotech suits or whatever. The time travel ones.
Oh, in Endgame?
Yeah, like it looks just like those. So I'm like, oh, it's just a time travel suit, like at this point with the movies. So maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. And I don't know, did you check out the pre-order suits you get?
No, I didn't look at I didn't realize you would be getting different costumes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looked like Star-Lord can get a few different ones. Or I'll post it right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's called the Throwback Pack or whatever, so I'm guessing they're going to be purchasable later.
Okay.
But Drax, he has like his original look from
Oh,
the comics.
that's super cool. Oh, I like this a lot. Yeah. That's really rad. Okay. I really dig that.
So I'm fine with that. And then with Star-Lord, I mean, I really love that Guardians uniform.
Love that classic.
I've always
one,
been
man.
a big fan.
It's so good. That classic outfit is so rad. I will say, I don't like Star-Lord's helmet. I don't think it looks good. the main game helmet, not the original comic book.
What is?
It's like a weird, like the eyes are like weird digital eyes. They look like eyes of a digipet or something. I don't think it jives.
And it's black for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, like, I dig the rest of his design a lot. I think it's just the helmet that I'm just not. And I'm like, you got to get the helmet right though, man. That's like Star-Lord's whole thing.
And it's not like Star-Lord's helmet is anything complex.
It's really not. Like, it's not crazy hard to do right. It's just like these guys. I feel the same way about this helmet as I did about a lot of the Avengers costumes in the PS4 game. Where I just feel like they were trying something different, but it still just like totally misses the mark. Like, for me, in terms of style, I don't know.
Groot. I mean, Groot just looks like Groot.
Yeah,
he just has a different look.
Groot's Groot.
Nothing too crazy. And of course, Rocket is rocking a suit and some sunglasses, which is very Rocket.
Oh yeah, I like Rocket's in-game design with like his cool goggles and in his beard he has a tiny Groot like bead.
Yeah,
which I think is adorable. I'm like, yes, Rocket's great. I don't know if I like Rocket's voice in the game. Because I'm so used to something that sounds like Bradley
Like
Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, this one doesn't
Yeah.
quite jive. But I don't know if these are supposed to be like them sort of younger or older. I'm not sure. Like it's a little hard to pinpoint where they're supposed to be in the timeline of being the Guardians. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and plus, it's weird how I guess it has to be Disney or whoever's in charge of these Marvel games that come in, because obviously they're not trying to go the MCU route with these characters design-wise.
Yeah.
We say that, but then sometimes it's like it's clear that that's what they're trying to go for, like with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, right? The Tony Stark's in there. And it's such an obvious bad attempt at an RDJ impression.
Yeah.
With the voice acting and like the dialogue that he's saying. It's like, oh, that's clearly the MCU, but it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like there's a mandate to make the costumes different than the movies in some way, but in some, like, they can be similar to an extent. Like they can be like 30% like the movies, but then the rest has to be different, sort of.
Yeah, like Cap suit in Avengers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like made out of hockey pads. It's just like,
yeah, like some sort of like thrift store content going on there.
Yep. I was just like, man, that's terrible. Like it looks so bad. And I think it's really funny that people are hopping back onto Avengers now that they've announced that they're just going to release all the movie costumes on it. And I'm like, oh, well, of course.
Yeah, I've seen those movie suits. Yeah, they do look nice.
Yeah. They don't look like they've had enough, like as much, oh gosh, what's the word?
Time worked on it?
Well, they don't look like they have enough, as much passion as like the Spider-Man game has for making the movie suits look good. You know what I mean? Like there's just not that level of polish from the Spider-Man game.
Well, I think with Spider-Man, though, that's from Insomniac, and they're all about passion with their games. I mean, recently Ratchet and Clank, that thing has just so much character in it from all the other games built up to it.
Yeah.
It's really good, yeah.
So, I don't know. It's I still think this game looks really fun, I think is the biggest part. Like, regardless of the looks of all the characters, I think the gameplay looks awesome and fun and like a great time. And it looks a lot more interesting to me than the Avengers game did in terms of gameplay. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that it's going to have a good story behind it.
Right on, man. For me, I want to see some more before I think about getting the game or not.
Yeah, I figure the game's probably going to look a lot different, like going down the line, because I don't. When does this come out? Does it come out like?
It's available October 26th.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's coming out soon then. Maybe it won't change that much.
Yeah, so we got 4 months before that comes out.
Well, and it'll probably be like any other Square Enix game where they'll release 60% of it now, and we'll get the other 40% of it through the season pass. So I'm looking forward to buying the game for $90. It's going to be a great time. I'm really stoked. Should be fun.
Cool, man. Oh, and we didn't mention, but Gamora's costume in the pre-order pack is her outfit that she wears when she gets her powers from the Black Vortex.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like the design a lot, but I will say I think she should have the hood up.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because just with the red in her hair, it just kind of doesn't really go with the green.
No. Yeah, I think that and all the Nintendo stuff was all I really cared about at E3. Everything else was kind of whatever.
Yeah, E3 wasn't the best this year.
No.
Just to talk about it real quick, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty slim pickings for a lot of it. But Nintendo, just freaking Super Mario Party, like Redux with all the N64 levels, and then you got freaking new WarioWare game, and you got the new Metroid, and I'm just like, yeah, they won. They won this year. They took it. It's theirs. They did it. I also think Halo Infinite looks a lot better than it did from those earlier trailers. Like, I think they've done a lot to make that look a lot nicer.
Oh, also, almost forgot. In the trailer, they showed off Mantis for the game.
Oh, did they? I didn't see the actual trailer. I just watched the gameplay side. So that's kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah, there's like just one quick shot of her, and she looks great. Not green skin, right? So, grabbing that from the movies. but her just from what we see, which is just like just like the very top part of her outfit, it looks good.
Oh my gosh, that's Mantis from the Telltale game. Not what I want.
Oh, and you know what? Yeah, another Guardians member was in the trailer too. I forgot.
Who was it?
It's the astronaut dog.
Cosmo.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. That's cool. We're gonna get Cosmo. That makes okay. That's all right. That's pretty cool. I dig it. I like that a lot. That's cool. I think one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting about the gameplay trailer was that there isn't really like a propensity to have him play like classic rock music, which I thought was kind of an interesting choice. Like to be like, nah, let's distance it a little bit by not having him play the music too much. Oh yeah, there's like classic rock sounding music, but it's not like, oh, it's We Need a Hero.
That's right, because they were like, wow, they really used that a few days after He-Man used it.
Yeah, right? Like, oh yeah, I remember them talking. Okay. I'm sure that's purely coincidence that both trailers had it in it, but
yeah, it's just bad timing for the Guardian's sake.
Yeah, I just don't like that helmet design. It just doesn't work for me.
No. Yeah, I'm hoping we could swap it out like in Avengers, right?
I'm hoping there's costume pieces you can get down the line. It would be cool if you could find like the movie helmet somewhere in the game.
Oh gosh, yeah, like at the end of the trailer there's like 2 other outfits that you could wear for Star-Lord and it's just the same helmet.
Oh, Mantis looks cool. Man. Okay. I like Groot holding the weird space llama. That was cute. Star-Lord saying he'll call the tentacle. That's great. Yeah, that looks good. That's a good... Yep, I'm excited. I'm down. It looks like a good time. Okay, so before we get fully into MCU news, do you want to talk about the new Snake Eyes trailer at all?
Oh, was there a new one?
I just posted it in the chat, and I watched it earlier today, and I thought it was pretty great.
Oh, I didn't even hear about this.
Yeah, they've definitely have not been like playing up Snake Eyes too much, but I really dug this trailer a lot. I was pretty into it. I think this movie looks pretty good.
Yeah, this movie looks cool.
This trailer in particular shows that Cobra is going to be like a part of the movie. Baroness shows up and like Scarlet shows up, and I'm just like, yeah, cool, great. I'm down for this to be like the intro to us getting a new G.I. Joe movie universe. Like I'm pretty down for it.
Yeah. Is this connected to the other ones?
No, I don't believe so. Because Scarlet's a brand new actress, and so is Baroness. And
okay.
Yep. And they're talking about how Cobra is just starting out. And I love that Storm Shadow's the guy who brings him into the tribe, like of the ninja people. Like,
okay, yeah. I mean, the action's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm really digging all the kung fu stuff and everything. Like, it's looking.
Well, it says G.I. Joe Origins at for the subtext for the film.
Oh yeah.
So prequel?
Yeah,
prequel film.
Could be a prequel movie.
I mean, kudos to them to keeping the G.I. Joe movies alive.
They got to do something with the property, man. G.I. Joe's too expensive of a thing for them not to, right? Like,
yeah, I never watched the second one. I've only seen the first one.
Oh, you gotta watch the second one, man. It's got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Bruce Willis.
Oh, Bruce Willis is in that movie.
Yeah, he plays the original Joe. Like he is G.I. Joe. Like he's the first guy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like it's wonderful. Joseph Gordon-Levitt does not come back to play Cobra Commander, and that's fine. It's just like that's okay.
Yep.
But Cobra Commander looks and sounds a lot more like Cobra Commander in the second movie. Sadly, there's no Destro. Destro does not come back for the second film, which is a bummer. But I think you should check out the second movie. It's pretty good. It's got a really weird thing going on with it where they killed Duke in the original cut of it, and then test audiences didn't like that Duke died, so they had to go back and reshoot a bunch of scenes with Channing Tatum where he wasn't with anybody. So they just kind of
that's weird.
They kind of like filmed a bunch of action scenes with him fighting like Cobra soldiers and stuff to keep him in the movie. But you don't, like, after, like, the beginning of the film, you don't actively see him on screen with, like, anybody else in the movie. He's, like, weirdly pasted into certain scenes and stuff. It's very strange.
Huh.
Yeah, but he's in it again. Like, Channing Tatum does come back as Duke.
I mean, hey, I like Channing Tatum. I think he's cool.
Yeah, the main guy's definitely The Rock of the second movie.
Oh, yeah,
like,
clearly.
Like, definitely,
yeah,
it's Roadblock, man. Like, which I was down with. I was like, yeah. But no Marlon Wayans. Wayans does not return for the sequel.
That I did know.
Yeah, he definitely did not come back. Which I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's okay. But I think Snake Eyes looks pretty good. I don't know. I'm pretty down with it. I'm down to see some good old fashioned samurai sword master whatever stuff.
Yeah, same here. I'm always a big fan of that.
I'm gonna call it right now though. I don't think we're gonna see Snake Eyes in the suit and on that motorcycle until the very end of the movie.
Oh yeah, I don't think we're gonna see him rocking that.
Yeah,
until at least the third.
I
act.
almost want to say that scene that they show in this trailer is the end of the film. Like I almost want to theorize that he's just not going to be in the suit until the credits roll. Like that, like him leaving on the motorcycle will be the end of the movie. I don't know if that for sure, but I'm just theorizing.
Well, I mean, it is a Paramount movie, right?
Yep.
Sony owns Paramount, so that's not too odd.
Yeah, no, it definitely is part of their track record. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm still pretty stoked for this movie. I think it looks really good. I'm curious to see how Snake Eyes loses his voice in the movie. So I'm pretty stoked. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, man. So we got some leaked promo stuff for Thor: Love and Thunder, right? There's a picture out there of a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. With a tiny itty-bitty lady Thor.
Yeah, so we finally get to see Jane Foster in the suit, which, I mean, there's nothing to say. It's just the same suit that she wears in the comics.
Yep.
And she has a Mjolnir.
Yeah, which is really weird. Because that hammer got squished. That there's just going to be, they're just going to be like, oh, well, I went back to Eitri and he had the mold for Mjolnir, so we just made another one.
I mean, that's probably something that they would do. But I mean, the thing with Mjolnir is that it's from a dying star, right? So they'd have to go and get something of equivalent power.
I thought that's what the Forge was the dying star.
No, but Mjolnir itself, it contains, at least in the comics, it contains the power of a dying star.
Oh, okay. Because I know in the movies, all they say is that it was forged in the heart of a dying star.
Yeah, because that's how traditionally it was. I think is there was this. Oh man, I'm forgetting how much lore in. I think it was talked about in the Mighty Thor comic with Jane Foster.
Okay.
Where Odin got the dwarves to create something to hold the power of this cosmic energy that was just running rampant that Odin himself couldn't control. It was being defiant to Odin, so that's why he casted like whoever's worthy gets its power, and then that's how Thor is able to use it because later in the comics, it's like this. It has like its own consciousness and all this weird stuff. I don't think they're gonna do that for the MCU.
No, I feel like it's gonna be a Zeus thing, like you've said in the past. Like I'm pretty sure that's where Jane Foster's gonna get her power set.
Yeah, I still think that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. Is like, oh, she has a Mjolnir. I'm like, oh, so it's gonna harness Zeus's powers.
Yeah, I guess. I'm also curious if Zeus is going to be like a double agent type of bad guy where like he plays up like he's helping out Thor and Jane Foster and stuff, but he's actually helping out Christian Bale and they're on a team together because they don't like the Asgardians, so they have a mutual problem, so they have to work together and then they're both going to die. So, I don't know.
I feel like that is going to be something because I don't see them keeping Zeus around in the MCU.
Well, Russell Crowe's expensive, man.
That too. That too.
He's expensive. Like, and he's still doing like lots of other stuff. So I don't really see Russell Crowe being in these movies past this one.
So I can see something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just had to give her Mjolnir, which, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's what she has in the comic book, so you got to give it to her in the movie.
Well, at least that means Thor himself keeps Stormbreaker.
Yeah, that's cool. I do still kind of wish Stormbreaker was eventually going to end up with my boy Beta Ray Bill, but at this point, I'm like totally. I don't think they're ever going to do Beta Ray Bill in a movie, which is a big bummer to me because I really like his character a lot in the comics. I think he's such an interesting like foil to Thor as a character. But we're never going to see him in the movies.
Yeah, I'd imagine it would have to be this film. I think.
Yeah, like if they were going to do Beta Ray Bill in any movie, it would be this one.
Since it has like that 80s aesthetic going on too, right? I think Beta Ray Bill fits that to a T.
Gosh, you know who would have been a great Beta Ray Bill? Freaking Christian Bale.
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, he could have been good.
Man, he would have had a whole regality to the character and all. Oh my god. Now I'm mad. Dang it.
Yeah. That'd be pretty good, man.
God, that would be so cool. All right. That's my sad thought for the day. Missed opportunity of Disney of today. There you go. I guess we can talk about, I don't know what it means, but we can talk about the Spider-Man logo from No Way Home. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah, that's the real one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So No Way Home had a logo come out in like South America or Mexico or something off of Sony's YouTube channel. Like they put out a little teaser that was just the title and it glitches like the Spider-Verse one. So if they're not doing Spider-Verse in this movie, I would be very surprised at this point.
I wonder if that means for No Way Home or if Spider-Verse 2 is going to have the live action Spideys pop in too.
Wow, that would be crazy. That one would be pretty cool if it goes that direction instead.
Yeah, because the big thing with the Spider-Verse comics is that they're all there. They all may just have like small cameos or maybe they splinter off into teams and then those have like spin-off comics. But yeah, the big thing is that there's at least 20 Spider-Men that pop up to team up to stop whatever's about to happen.
It's going to be good stuff, man. I'm pretty excited. However it ends up working out, I'm just excited for more Spider-Man stuff. So I'm really stoked.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just really hope that they're pushing hard with Spider-Verse stuff for.
I really hope No Way Home lets us actually have Tobey Maguire. Just give it to me, man.
I mean, as long as it could still feel like it's a sequel to Far From Home and to kind of wrap up this trilogy with Tom Holland.
Yep.
Yeah, they could just keep doing the multiverse stuff. Because, I think having the older, more experienced Spider-Man to come in to help Tom Holland with the identity thing would be a really great touch to the film.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I think that would be really cool. Like, have a very similar relationship with Tom Holland Spider-Man and Tobey and Andrew with that Miles has with Peter B. Parker would be really cool.
Yes. Exactly.
Like that would be a very neat way to do that. I would like that a lot.
So cool, man. And this really wasn't news, but this did pop up. You brought it up, Jake, in our chat. And I was like, you know what? We should talk about it. It's one of the deleted Endgame scenes in the final act with one Tony Stark and Bucky Barnes.
Yes, I am super bummed this didn't get done. I thought that was a great moment on paper, like reading about it. So yeah, Bucky and Iron Man would have shared a moment in the final fight. Probably would have been 10 seconds at most for them to shoot and have in the movie. But what was it? It was Bucky saves Iron Man from some Ravagers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like Bucky comes in and takes out a bunch of Ravagers, and then they nod at each other, and they have earned each other's respect. And I think that would have been a really cool thing to have in the movie, and it would have been really interesting to see get brought back in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Have like a moment there where like Bucky talks about that. Would have been really cool.
Yeah, it's obviously one of those things where like we have too much going on in the film and we just have to cut some stuff out. Like what another good scene would have been, which we actually did see later, and which was the Tony Stark scene after he did the snap and he talks to his daughter, who's an adult now.
Yeah. Yep. I still can't find a clip of that where I can actually listen to their dialogue. The only version I've been able to find is on Disney Plus, and they have commentary over the whole thing. And I'm just like, I want to actually hear them talk. So, I don't know. I'm happy the scene's out, though, in some capacity. So that's cool.
Yeah, like, I think it's just them on a green screen set.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So that's a shame. That really should have been in there for... It's the end of the MCU, basically. And to have, like, closure with a bunch of characters, that would have been one of them to keep for sure.
Yeah, that would have been really nice to have that scene in the movie. I would have enjoyed it. It's a bummer it's not in there. I don't think it was even shot, right? Like it's something that was just in the script. From the story that I posted.
You know, who knows? Because isn't the Iron Man Doctor Strange scene shot?
Oh yeah, that was shot too. Yeah, that's a scene that exists because there's set photos of RDJ in the cloak of levitation. So like they definitely shot that scene, and I want them to release it, please, because I want to see Doctor Strange in an Iron Man suit.
I will say one reason I did want to bring it up is because what they could do, which I would be okay with because I'm a fan of it, is they could do a novelization of the film, and then with that you just put in all the stuff that was cut out.
Yeah, I'd be way into that. That would be cool. Have they done a novelization of Endgame? Because I know they've done them of other Marvel movies.
Yeah, there's the screenplay you could buy.
Oh, maybe it's in there. Huh.
Yeah, I guess it would be in there, right? Because it would be written in there, and then, yeah.
I think that would be the most likely spot to find that kind of a scene.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if it
wasn't
talked about until right now, maybe not.
Yeah, like some sort of other medium to where we could, see all that stuff, I think is always a good idea.
I'm always into stuff like that where we get an extra look at some of that stuff. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something about it in the What If show.
Right, yeah.
Because the What If show seems to be just going bananas in terms of what it's going to do. I want to bring that up when we talk about the big.
So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and dive in to the main segment of this episode, which is the new Disney Plus show, Loki.
Yes, I like it. All right, I'll preface this. We got me and my girlfriend got invited to the big preview event a couple weeks ago, and it was really fun. We got to see Owen Wilson in person. We got to see Kevin Feige, and then Tom Hiddleston Skyped in from the London event that was happening on the same day. Very cool experience, very fun, as are most of the Marvel fan events that they do. They did like a giveaway, like everybody was cosplaying. Felt like a good old-fashioned convention-y kind of vibe. So we had a really good time. And I think the show is a lot better than either of the other current Disney Plus shows on for Marvel. I don't know how you feel about it yet, Danny, but I'm a lot more into this than I was into either of the other ones.
Yes, I feel the same. These two episodes were really strong, and I do think this is the better out of the three. Yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot, man. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. Even in the first episode, which is just mainly setup.
Yeah.
There's a lot, especially with Tom Hiddleston coming in, really killing it in the second half.
Tom Hiddleston just freaking, man. He is Loki, man. Like the way that Robert Downey Jr. is Thor, like Tom Hiddleston is just Loki. Like nobody's going to be able to play it the same way as him, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel the same way. My favorite thing coming in, because I really miss it, is just the way he was talking. Like he still has that pre-Ragnarok Shakespearean-esque to the way he speaks.
Yeah, like he hasn't been colored by weird modern speech yet.
And that is just so fantastic with him. I was like, gosh, I really do miss that with these characters, and I'm glad that he kept it.
Even into episode 2, like I think like that they keep him very consistent in terms of that idea that he's still like Avengers 1 Loki. Like they did a really good job. I love Owen Wilson. I love him. I think he's great. My favorite part about seeing him in person was that he made it very clear that he does not care about the MCU. like he didn't say it outright, but the way he was talking about it all was great, because he's like, my favorite part of the whole experience was him saying that he had to go to Loki training camp with Tom Hiddleston, and him and Tom Hiddleston like locked themselves in a hotel room a full 48 hours, and Tom Hiddleston just gave Owen Wilson an entire rundown of the entire MCU and who Loki is as a character and all this other stuff. And before that point, Owen Wilson had watched no Marvel movie, which I think is hilarious. I think that's super funny. Really good choice in terms of the character, I think. And I love their interplay between each other.
Yeah, they're definitely a good duo, which is great, right? Because they're going to be the main focus for most of the show. So you have to have strong connections with them. It was funny with Owen Wilson. There was a specific scene. He's talking to that kid. Well, not to get into spoilers, but he's talking to a character. He just starts he starts whispering. And I was like, oh, yep, this is Owen Wilson. There's that Owen Wilson whisper.
How's it going?
Yeah.
So perfect. I love it. It's great. I like that this show also gives me, like, I can see where a lot of the inspiration for certain things comes from in this show. There's an old movie called Defending Your Life that I watched with Madison just pretty recently. That's all about, you go to heaven, but then you're not like quite there yet. You're in like an intermediary spot where they decide whether or not you're ready to move on, or if you need to go back to Earth and try again. The whole vibe of them looking into Loki's past and stuff in the first episode was very similar to how they do stuff in that movie. Really fun. So I was like, okay, that's a cool influence. I think it would be remiss of us not to mention how similar this concept is to Umbrella Academy. It's very similar to the time travel stuff in this. Like, some of the stuff that happens in that show is very similar to this. So I would recommend it. Say too much more about Umbrella Academy because I feel like it would be spoilery. And you should watch that show without any info because it's got a lot of good twists and turns.
Yeah, for me, for some reason, I kind of got this, the Catch Me If You Can type of vibe for the film.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
And I always thought that was fun. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool that they're kind of going with this route with Loki in the show.
Yeah, I think overall I would recommend these first 2 episodes a lot. I think they're both really good, really strong. I think it's definitely something to be said that this is the most successful Disney Plus show from Marvel so far. And I think it's just because it's not taking itself super seriously, and it's just a fun time. Everybody's just having good laughs and goofs and gaffs, and it's not super serious. I feel like you can watch this pretty separately from most of the MCU.
Yeah, like up until Endgame, pretty much. I think is important for the specific scene with Loki when he's by himself towards the end of the first episode.
Yes,
that we'll get into because there's a lot
that
to break down. But the reason I like this more, I think, than WandaVision has to be with WandaVision. Like you were interested in the beginning a lot because of so much mystery, and you wanted to see how exactly where are we going with this? How much more crazier could it get?
Yep. Who's the aerospace engineer? How is Quicksilver back?
Yeah, but we also didn't really know what the show was about for the most part, right? Like there were still a lot of questions in the air.
Yeah.
That I wanted answered for sure.
And that show does not answer any of them. It just ends.
Yeah, it sort of just happens. Whereas so far in the first 2 episodes with Loki, we know the premise, we understand our characters, and the reason I'm invested is because I want to see what happens. Yes. And the journey that Loki is going to go through.
Yeah, I'm way more compelled about what's going on with Loki and Mobius as characters. Mobius being Owen Wilson's character.
Yes.
I'm way more interested in what's happening with them than I ever was with Wanda. I think the interest level I have with what's going on with them was about the same as how I was with Vision for the entire show with WandaVision. Because Vision was the best character of that show. Wanda's character in that show had like nothing going on for me. And I think just overall, the tone of this show is much more interesting to me than either WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because I think Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, like, they both have parts that are fun-ish. I don't know if Falcon and Winter Soldier does because I haven't watched it, but like there's more lighter elements in WandaVision, but overall it's a very dark story and very tragic and very serious overall. And from everything I've seen about Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's the same way, where it's very serious and very dour and not quite as fun. And like the stakes just feel so high, like for both shows. And this show, even though the stakes are high, it feels much more fun, less like crazy, and way more like just like a fun time to watch. It feels very close to some of the other Marvel projects in that way, I think.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with how disconnected it is for post-Endgame content.
Yes.
Right? Because I think the reason why Falcon Winter Soldier and WandaVision feel like that is because those shows are about the ramifications of what happened during Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's really putting our heroes in a position of, well, yeah, we have to figure out what we're going to be doing because we were partly our fault because we let it happen, kind of thing. They just really have to go through it all. Whereas with Loki, I mean, he's just so disconnected, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know for the most part what really happens aside from what we know from the first episode.
That's definitely, I think, to its benefit that Loki can be this like separate character going on other misadventures.
So cool with that. Let's go ahead and hop into some spoilers. So moving forward, spoilers for the show Loki. You can always check the timestamps for all that.
I love the clock. I love Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes is great.
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to see as much as we saw of her in the second episode.
Yeah. The little bit with Loki trying to beat her on the desk. That was great.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to interact at all with the characters. I thought it was just going to be one of those TV things.
Yeah, I had like a moment, like, because I'd seen the poster like before we saw the episodes at all, like from the preview thing, and I told Madison that I was like, I want to see Loki fight that thing. I need to see him get annoyed, and I need to see them have an argument, and I will be totally happy with this show. Like, I'm super down. And then lo and behold, beginning of episode 2, it happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, this show's great. Gives me exactly what I wanted. I was just like, see, that's good, Marvel. You keep doing that. Oh, that was great. I loved that. I was just like, if they don't have an argument at some point in this show, it's a missed opportunity. Like, and they nailed it. So she's really cool, and I like that. I love the way they give the exposition about the timekeepers and what the TVA is and stuff in episode 1. So I'm curious if it's going to be like a Wizard of Oz situation where it's like the timekeepers aren't actually real.
Yeah. I have the feeling that they were real at a point.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
But they're not there anymore.
Like the TVA has become like self-sustaining in a lot of ways. Like, so I'm curious how they're gonna tackle that towards the end of the show.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna get more and more skepticism about them as we go further into the show.
Yeah, I can see that. Like from like just the general characters and stuff.
Yeah, mainly I think with Owen Wilson's character.
Yeah.
The biggest scene I do want to talk about with this show is after Loki escapes from... Yeah, he's just running around the TVA, hiding from everybody, and then he goes back to the room where he first was at when he was talking to Owen Wilson with the old school projector showing stuff post-Avengers, and just him going through the highlight reel of his moments in the show was probably my favorite thing so far.
Yeah, that was great. He shows such a good range of emotions in that scene. Like it's really well done. I love that you get to see like you get to see Frigga, you get to see Odin, you get to see all the Avengers again. You get to see Thor and Loki back in Ragnarok, and then Thor Dark World, and I'm just like, Thor Dark World is still referenced. It's still part of the universe. They don't completely hate it. I'm just like, oh my god, it's around. It's somewhere.
Yeah, just don't show the Dark Elf stuff, pretty much.
Yeah, just don't show them. Like, that's... So I loved all that stuff. I thought that was great. I thought it was weird. The shot of Frigga's dead body must have been when Loki saw it later or something. Because I'm kind of like... I don't really understand the way that computer system thing works, because sometimes it shows stuff that he sees from his perspective, and then other times it shows stuff that he definitely couldn't have seen, like physically. So I don't... It's a little weird.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's just the shots from the movie, you know? Like, it's like the scene of him and Thanos, obviously, the biggest one, that's the most emotionally impactful for him.
I think my favorite one was him watching the Ragnarok scene with him and Thor in the elevator.
Yeah.
And just like that smile he has on his face listening to that was really good. And then, hard cutting straight into Endgame.
Yeah. And like with the demise of himself type of deal.
Great transition too, right, with the explosion of the ship that they're on.
Yep.
And then the next scene, and then we actually see the projection of him being choked by Thanos.
Yeah, that stuff's great. I really dug that whole bit. A lot of just Tom Hiddleston is just freaking killing it, man. Like, it's really good. And I gotta say that this one looks real high budget. Like, this whole show looks really good. Obviously, we weren't able to see WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier on a big screen, but like, I was a little skeptical about watching this on a big screen just because they're all like TV shows, But this looked great on a movie theater screen. Like, it looked like a movie. Like, there was no cheapness to it in any point of it. Like, I didn't feel like I was watching something that was made explicitly for TV. Like, this show actively looks really good on a movie screen. To the point that I'm kind of bummed that I won't be able to see the next 4 episodes in a theater. Like, because that was such a great time watching them in a movie theater with like an audience of people and stuff too, like laughing at all the jokes and enjoying like all the darker moments and the happy moments and stuff. And that was just great. Like, I was just like, wow, this is a really good time. And not being able to see the rest of the show in that kind of a setting, I think, is going to color my my experience for the rest of it. But it's fine. It's cool. It's fine. I love the look of the TVA, too. I dig how it just looks like this huge... it's got that early 2000s future aesthetic where everything is bronze and, like, brass.
Yeah, that classic stuff you like to see.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, we're bringing that back a little bit. Okay, cool. I'm into that. That's neat. That's a neat idea. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of all the retro computer stuff. I think that's a little
too much.
It's a little far for me. I would like more stuff to look more just like brass tubes and stuff kind of deal. I think it's a little bit of a clash of style to me. But I still think it's not bad. Like, and it works for making all of these side characters like office workers, and like that's all they do. Like, the one guy doesn't even know what a fish is. That's great. Like, and I guess if we're talking about the guy who is going to be gutted like a fish, should we address the elephant in the room?
Yeah. So the big thing that became a meme. Here and there. I've been seeing different versions of it. But there's the scene in the first episode where Loki, after he escaped, he's trying to find the Tesseract that they confiscated from him.
Yep.
And he sees the guy that he first saw when they went in who took it, threatens him, and says, like, just, where is it? Looking through the drawers and stuff. And as he grabs it, he looks, and there are multiple Infinity Stones in the drawer.
Yeah, tons of Infinity Stones in that drawer. None of which are the Soul Stone, which I thought was kind of interesting.
There was one, wasn't there?
Oh, it's the Mind Stone is the big yellow one.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Soul Stone never. It's not in that drawer at all, which I thought was kind of neat. I thought it's also interesting. There's only one real Mind Stone in that drawer. You know, they say they get a lot of them, and then they use them as paperweights. So it's very possible that we just are only seeing what's in the drawer, and not what's on other people's desks and stuff. So there could be Soul Stones spread throughout the facility. I'm of two minds about this plot development. I don't know if I like how it devalues them, but then this show is so separate from stuff that maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it's interesting, man. I first saw it out of context, and I was a little upset. I was like, oh, wow, we're really going with this kind of route. Like, because the way most people will probably see it on social media is the drawer of the Infinity Stones, the guy saying, oh, yeah, we have a bunch of those. Some people use them as paperweights, which, you know, is the dialogue.
Yeah, and then that dumb meme of exasperated Black Widow, Gamora, and Vision.
Yes. Yeah, they're all
Oh
pissed
my
because,
God.
like, really?
Yeah, like, and I was just like, come on, man, that's... And out of context, I totally see how that would be, like, infuriating. You know?
Yes. But
Like-
however, after watching the full scene and understanding that character who is talking and how interesting he is because he has no context aside from his job. Right?
Yeah.
Like the fish joke line, it's a joke, but when you get more into it, when he says like, I only know this place, like I'm created to work here. Right? Like everything
Yep.
else for knowledge is irrelevant.
And
So it makes sense that he would talk about it that way.
yeah. Like the Infinity Stones aren't Infinity Stones to him. They're literally just objects in a drawer. And I think that the whole point of the scene isn't to devalue the stones as we know them. It's to make Loki finally understand where he's at in terms of the hierarchy of this facility, of the TVA.
Yeah, because, you know, one thing that doesn't get shown in what's being thrown around there is Loki's dialogue right after that, where he says, is this the most powerful power in the universe? As he's looking around the TVA.
Yeah, and then it's the irony of it, right? Because he's looking around just like an office space type setting with cubicles. It's just like, is this really the most powerful thing? And it's a very I think to me I dig it because it's a very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy kind of moment.
Yes.
Where it's very tongue in cheek in the way that it's handling what's happening. But still emotional for Loki as a character because he's had this one view of the universe the entire time, and now it's completely different.
And my thoughts on it with multiple stones, I think it's fine because as we go into the show, we understand, like, okay, so the TVA's job is to go to these areas where there's going to be a branching timeline, and that's going to breach the... What's the exact term? Like the main timeline? What do they call it again?
Oh, the sacred timeline.
Yeah, it's going to cause problems for the sacred timeline, so they have to go and deal with these people. And, you know, there's a good chance that they have Infinity Stones, so It's not like they could go put it back, and so they just confiscate them.
Because regardless of if they confiscate it or not, if they just hit the reset doodad, it's going to make it reappear anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you might as well keep it in a place where they won't work. Yeah, so overall, I'm okay with that being a thing, and it's also a good set piece for Loki, like we were saying about power and his realization about his position.
Yes, because normally he's the strongest person in the room most of the time, right? Like, because I'm just thinking about like him on the podium being on the during the trial, and then comparing that to his first appearance in Avengers 1, where he murders just an entire room of dudes and mind controls the rest of them, right? Like, but in this one he can't even get a collar off of his neck for the most part. And I love the collar thing. Like, I love the rewind function on it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's such a cool concept. Like, I love that. That's so funny. Especially the way they, like, he's just like, the device it only rewinds you, it doesn't rewind the chair. Like, like, so if I rewind you, you're just gonna go back to where there's no chair. My bad.
Yeah, at first I was a little worried for the humor, because there is sort of like that Marvel humor that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah.
And we had one of those jokes early on, and I was like, ooh, I hope it's not like this. But that kind of humor, yeah, it's fun, it's lighthearted. You know, it doesn't feel out of context with the character.
I love how situational it is. Like, this feels like a late 90s, like, buddy cop kind of show. Is like the vibe that I get from it. Yeah, there's a little bit of Lethal Weapon right there, where like Owen Wilson is sort of Murtaugh, like he's been around on the beat for like a long time, and Loki's the wild crazy dude who thinks outside the box, you know, and they're partners and they got to work together, and it's they got to figure out their differences, and it's a fun time. It's a good show. I dig it.
Yeah, I will say I was surprised that the shot in the trailer of him as with the glasses on the plane, like, that wasn't part of the time travel stuff.
Yeah, the DB Cooper scene.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be when he would be working with them, but it's like, oh no, this is like something he actually did.
Yeah, because I remember that scene triggering a lot of speculation from people that Heimdall was back in some capacity.
Oh, right.
Because Heimdall teleports him out, like, at the end of it. But then this shows that, no, Heimdall's definitely dead. Like, he's really dead. And he ain't coming back. At least right now, anyway. For one part, is a bummer. I thought that was kind of a bummer. But I do love that whole scene, in a very Catch Me If You Can fashion, is just a trick that Thor bet him that he couldn't do.
Yeah.
Which is great. I'm just like, yeah, that's the kind of feeling that I need from Thor and Loki. I want more of that interaction where they're just like omnipotent beings messing with humans. It's good stuff.
But yeah, with the premiere, they did a good job setting up everything of what we needed to know for the show with the TVA, like just the base stuff for the TVA to get us like a good understanding of what we're going to be seeing. I liked Owen Wilson in there a lot, especially when he's, you know, talking to Loki. He's trying to see if this Loki is one of the good ones that he can trust with what they need to do, catching this variant, as they call them, that's been a real problem lately, which leads into the teaser for the end of the episode where, well, we need you to capture another version of you.
Yeah, like we need you to capture this crazy person that's going around and killing TVA agents. It's you. And he's just like, oh, what? Like, and then that's like the smash cut to the ending, which is great. I thought that was a great cliffhanger for episode 1. Everyone was in the theater and we were all like, ah, that was awesome. And then they came out and they did their interview parts after episode 1. That was when like Owen Wilson and everybody came out. And then at the very end of that whole bit, Tom Hiddleston like looked at the audience and was like, you know, I could cause just a little bit of extra mischief. Who wants to see episode 2? And we were like, yeah. So then we got to see the second episode, which I think was equally as good as the first episode. I think it's just as strong as the first one.
Yeah, so this is really more meat of the show here. We're done with the premise and the catching up with Loki kind of thing. And so now let's focus on the story with the second episode, as they're trying to find the variant, which is the other Loki. And yeah, nothing but fun stuff. I loved, again, just like the mundane stuff, I guess, with Owen Wilson and Loki.
Like them having to look through files and like betting who can find a natural disaster first, and all that stuff's great. Yeah,
there's something fun about that.
I'm a little bummed they didn't do more with the Ren Fair. I personally have had a really great experience being Loki at a Ren Fair when me and Connor went and did it.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, man, they should have had a little bit, like, they should have had a guy, like, dressed, they should have had, like, Norse people, like, Viking dudes or whatever, at that Renaissance fair. And instead, the only person they really interact with is some, lady who yells at them or something.
Oh, because they're walking in with their uniforms, right? Like all armored up, and she says, like, guys, you're not in costume or whatever. And then she's really the only one that gets the dialogue.
Yeah.
It would have been fun, but that just means more money for the show if Thor was there.
Well, I'm not even saying have Thor himself be there. Have like people dressed as Thor and Loki, but like ancient Norse versions, because it's a Ren fair. Like have some people who are dressed up as Asgardians or whatever, or have like actual Asgardians who are just visiting be there, because this, I imagine, is in the timeline. Or no, they said it was the 80s. That's right. They said it was the 80s during that part.
Yes, yeah. I just say Thor just because it'd be funny to see him interact with Loki, and Loki is just like trying to like play it off or whatever. And try to get back into the work.
That would be really fun. I wonder if they will have Thor pop up like more as a cameo character later on. I'm curious.
I wonder, because that would do a lot for Loki's character growth.
Yeah.
Right, because he understands the path that they go on, this crazy roller coaster of a journey between the two, where they just bicker and fight, they come together, but then Loki does what he does, and then it's not until Ragnarok where they finally come to an understanding with each other. Loki as he is now will never experience that, so having Thor show up and then Loki says, oh, this is my chance to feel that, I think would be good. That
would be a really cool way. I would love that somewhere in like the final 2 episodes to happen. Like that would be really cool. I don't know if it will, but it would be neat if it did. I would really dig that.
Yeah, and if not I don't know if they could get Anthony Hopkins for the show, because if not Thor, then maybe Odin.
See, I was thinking, I'm thinking that they're going to do something else with Renee Russo, with the mom. I think if anybody's going to come back to talk to Loki, I think they're going to have another mom and Loki moment. Because he never got that closure like Thor did in Endgame.
That's true.
Because Thor got to have that moment, like back in Dark World, to actually apologize and atone and actually speak to her and stuff. But Loki never gets that opportunity. So I think if they were to do one of the older characters that pops up, especially with how he reacted to her being dead in the first episode, I would say it's going to be the mom. I would bet that the mom's going to pop up somewhere in the show.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can imagine Loki is at a loss of what to do at a certain point, because as we get some more info about the other Loki in episode 2. It's like, oh, it's not what I thought for sure with what Loki's trying to do. Who may not even be Loki. Like, as we find out, it's like Lady Loki.
Yeah, but it might also be the Enchantress.
When I was watching the second episode and just kind of, they hint this other Loki, and it's this person's constantly wearing a hood, and I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, what if this isn't Loki, but they're just claiming that they're Loki?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I kept thinking, and then when we got the reveal, I was like, oh, okay, so is it Lady Loki? But is it Lady Loki? I mean, sure, she's kind of wearing similar stuff to what Loki would wear, but is it really?
Yeah, there's a weird thing with this. In one of the other translations of the show, in the credits, they don't list her as the variant, because in the American version, she's the variant. Like, that's her credit, right, in the credit sequence. But in another one, her name is Sylvie in the credits, and Sylvie is the name of the Enchantress from the comic books. And her powers are much closer to the Enchantress, because it's like green energy, and she's able to take over different minds of people and transfer her consciousness between them. And that's like 1-to-1 what the Enchantress's power set is in the comic books. So it could be either one, maybe a combo of the two. Like, maybe they're doing like a different thing and they're combining Lady Loki and Enchantress. But the other thing that this variant person says is that she says something while she's possessing the Jared guy or whatever, that like, you're so naive, like none of this is about you. Like, it's not about Loki, like this whole situation. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I took too, where she says it's not about you, the idea of Loki.
So I'm curious how they're gonna run with that. And I think we'll probably see it pretty quick, obviously, in the next episode, because Loki chases after her through the door. I think we'll see it come out from that. I also love, this is like a first episode thing, but I love the whole idea. I liked their little, let's get the Doctor Strange 2 movie title in there, by saying that if like one of the splinters goes off, it would cause a multiverse, be like an event that would be a madness level event or something. And I was just like, multiverse of madness. I get it.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, because obviously this is going to be kind of leading into something to Doctor Strange 2. I can imagine, right?
Oh yeah. I would imagine that this has to be leading into that. But I think the Lady Loki stuff is interesting, and I don't think it's it's not your normal Phase 4 of Marvel beat you over the head with a frying pan until you understand what we're talking about type of stuff. It's just like a different character, and we don't know what the deal is, which I dig. I dig that quite a bit.
Yeah, I have some ideas of what her motives could be, but I will save those until the next episode because we'll probably get some of that in the next one. Mainly because we got to see the repercussions of what she did, which is use all these bombs that she's been collecting from the TVA.
Yeah. And then she sent them through time doors to all over the place in the universe and the timeline, including and not limited to Vormir is one of them. I thought that was kind of neat. I posted the list in our chat on Instagram. Portugal, Vormir, Thornton, USA, Cookville, USA, Asgard, Rome, Italy, Sakaar has one, Porvoo, Finland, Ego, the planet, has one, Titan, New York, USA in 47, Tokyo, Japan, Hala, Xandar, a lot of alien planets on that list, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like a lot of places the Guardians have visited and interacted with and stuff.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of neat. I also think it's interesting that most of these are connected to things that are going to be in the What If TV show. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. I don't know how much that's actually going to, interplay with each other. I don't know how much What If is actually going to have connections with in the rest of the show or in the rest of the MCU. But it would be kind of neat if this is like the linchpin for that type of deal. I don't know.
So these bombs specifically, right? They just reset the timeline in that area.
Yeah.
To my understanding. And they just erase stuff that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I think that's how they're normally used. But I don't know if she's messed with them in some way. Because obviously they do something to split the timeline off in all these different locations, right?
Right, yeah.
So,
well, I guess also too, she does have the device she stole from the TVA person.
Yeah, so she could reprogram what they do potentially. Also, I gotta say, I love the whole thing of she's hiding in catastrophes, like in like apocalyptic level events to like not be caught. I think that's such a cool idea in terms of like a place to hide,
Yeah, that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, like all this stuff is really smart, like really well thought out in terms of how it all interplays with each other, which I know was a big deal that they made before the show dropped. Was they said that they worked really hard to make sure that all of the crazy time travel stuff was like airtight logic wise before the show was even like getting shot. Like just script wise, they were like, we got to make sure that all of this stuff is like totally like connected and logical and doesn't have any kind of like weirdness happening. Like nobody could poke a hole in this if they wanted to, type of deal. Which I was like, that's cool. That's a good level of passion behind that.
Yeah, that's really good.
I like that Roxxon shows up as a giant Amazon style shopping mall store.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, like Roxxon from the Miles Morales video game.
Yes.
Yeah, so I dug that. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a neat little reference. That's fun. That's a good time. I love Loki drying himself with his magic when they walk into the mall.
And then having to explain it. Yeah.
I also really dug Loki having to explain the differences between different types of like hologram stuff that he does. Like I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, that feels like one of those classic moments, right? When one of those characters come in and like they're just over explaining and everyone's just like, yeah, you're clearly new here,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, that was fun. I liked the questioning Loki was doing about was it the timekeepers?
To who?
To Owen Wilson's character.
Oh yeah.
Forget. What's his name?
Mobius.
Mobius.
Like a Mobius strip, like the infinity sign.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like that's what his. Yeah, his name is Mobius M. Mobius. That's his full name.
But yeah, like the questionings of like the sacred timeline and how like they know pretty much everything, and then Loki asked the question, okay, so how does time end? Like, what's the ending? And Mobius replies, oh, they haven't gotten to that yet. It's like, why? Like, how come what are they so busy doing that they haven't finished the timeline, kind of thing?
Oh yeah, that's like Owen Wilson says something like they're trying to untangle the epilogue, and I was like, that's a cool line.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a neat line of dialogue.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting way to look at what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, I guess also we didn't mention in the first episode how they explained how the sacred timeline was formed, right? It was after the events of a multi-universal war.
Oh yeah, like that's
on.
A pretty interesting tidbit. I'm like, can we see that? Like, can I see the multiverse war, please? Like that sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, first thing I thought of was like, oh, is that supposed to anticipate us for Secret Wars?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Which would be a pretty big deal, but that's a show, right?
Secret Wars? No, Secret Invasion is the show.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, Secret Invasion is the show coming out. That's Nick Fury and Skrulls.
With the Skrulls,
everywhere.
Right? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And also we saw a Skrull in the first episode.
Did we?
Did you? Yes, it was when they first entered the TVA after they captured Loki.
Uh-huh.
And they went to the reception desk.
Right.
It was like it's a small scene, but yeah, you see a Skrull there.
There's a Skrull there that gets let off or whatever. I like the rich guy in that first episode being like, "Do you know who my dad is?" And then he just gets.
Oh yeah.
And then he just dies. That was great. Oh man, that was really funny. What do you think about the supposed Peggy Carter cameo? Have you seen that? I don't know if I buy it that's actually Peggy Carter.
I don't buy it either, because after that scene when Loki's talking to the judge and says, it was not me, it was the Avengers that were time traveling, you should question them. And then the judge replies, they were supposed to do that.
Yeah, like they were supposed to time travel and do all that stuff. You weren't. So
yeah, so that to me that says, yeah, Endgame's time travel shenanigans, even the slip-ups were justified and were supposed to happen, which means that, Steve Rogers was supposed to go back in time and marry Peggy.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, or dance with her or something.
Yeah, whatever they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think her being there, unless she does something, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence. Like, I was watching with my brother, and he said during the Renaissance stuff, there's like, wait, is that what's her name from WandaVision? And I was like, oh no, it's not Agatha. It's like she just has a similar hairstyle.
Oh, there was like an Agatha looking lady.
It was the lady that
yells
has dialogue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like she has like the same hairstyle, and I was like, well, yeah, I guess if from a distance and she didn't talk, I guess that could have been mentioned, like this Peggy Carter thing, but
yeah, I don't think
it's her.
I think it's a cute nod, if anything, but I don't think it's actually her at all. Because what would Peggy have done to?
Oh well, actually I think somebody tried to explain it and say like, well, remember in What If she is going to be Captain America?
Oh, that's true, I guess.
So if this show does tie in with What If, like that could be a thing.
Oh, maybe that's like the Divergent, like Captain America Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be kind of neat.
Because that's another interesting thing they explained about branching timelines, was that it's not an outside influence. It could just be, oh, this person made the wrong choice, so we have to go fix that.
Yeah, like this person got to work late was the one that I thought was kind of the most interesting version of that. Like I was just like, oh, okay, wow. And they would just come and purge you and then kill you and then prune your timeline and then make sure you get to work on time. It's a weird thing for them to bring up. But I still dig it. I don't know. It's neat. I love all the versions of Loki they show. I think they're great. I want to see... I'm hoping we have a moment in the show where we see them all. I'm not going to hold my breath on it, but I hope we do.
Yeah, that just... To me, it reminded me of the stuff they do on Flash.
Yeah.
With Tom Cavanaugh. But at least I was like, it's a fun nod to have in there.
Yeah. But, like, can you imagine, like, a fight scene near the end of the show where it's, like, 8 Lokis, and it's, like some of them are the Lokis they showed in those parts, where it's just, like, a whole bunch of them? That would be amazing. Like, I would love that. Because I want to see soccer Loki, like, kick a soccer ball into somebody's head.
Right.
I liked Pompeii. I like them going to Pompeii for Loki to prove his point.
Yeah, I almost wish that Loki did something more ridiculous. Because, I mean, it was just him talking, sounding like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And, like, that's supposed to cause a branch in the timeline. I wouldn't think so.
But, like, like, he's speaking in English, and none of them are speaking English. I'm sure they only spoke Italian. So it's like...
Well, no, but then he started speaking Italian.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if he started, like, showing off magic or, like, pulled out I don't know, like an iPhone or something.
Yeah, like, that would have been cool.
Yeah, like, something more drastic like that. And then it's like, oh, the timeline still isn't branching. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, like, that would have been a better way to prove it, I think, if they had something a little bit more intense.
But still, yeah, like I said earlier, I like that concept of like, oh, disasters is a hiding place. That's pretty cool.
And I love the way that he figures it out is by going through history papers, and he finds the one about Asgard, and that's how he discovers that Asgard like died, like exploded.
Oh, Ragnarok.
Yeah, that Ragnarok happened. And like how many people died on the planet and that kind of stuff. And I was like, man, that's really neat. Like that's, and like you just see like the tear welling up in his eye for like a second. That was a really good scene too. And I liked him having to talk to like the angry secretary and be like, I want to get all the information you have about the timekeepers. And she's like, it's classified. And then he's like, I want all the information on this other thing. It's classified. Well, what can I get? And she's like, you get this folder. It's like one envelope, and I loved that. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, like, again, that reminds me of stuff at the end of Catch Me If You Can when Leonardo DiCaprio's character starts working for the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always like stuff like that when characters go into that position.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I mean, this isn't the second episode, but I like in the first one that they show an extra scene with Loki turning into Captain America for like a second. Oh
yeah, they pull that scene back.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. I was just just like, yes, we have to get down to the blah blah blah, and then like Thor puts the muzzle on him, and I'm like, yes, it's great. I think it's interesting how compassionate Owen Wilson is towards people while the rest of the TVA people aren't. It makes me think that Owen Wilson's character wasn't actually born in the TVA. I think we might get a revelation about him later that maybe he was somebody taken from a regular timeline, sort of like Loki. Because a lot of the other people seem to act and believe that they were just created right there in the TVA, but Owen Wilson doesn't come off like that.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? He constantly makes an effort to say like, hey man, don't act like this, or we're not better than these people, we're just doing our job kind of thing. Yeah, him being pulled into that world, that kind of ties into that theory video you shared the other day. of how the TVA might be in the what do they call it, the microverse?
Yeah, the quantum realm.
Or the quantum realm, yeah.
I think it's really interesting, and especially with like Owen Wilson's whole desire to be on a jet ski, which, you know, played for laughs, played for comedy, but is also like could be hinting at something else about his character.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's the only character we kind of see that looks older.
Yes.
Right? Like he has a full set of gray hair.
And like
everyone else seems fairly younger than him.
Yeah. Yes. It definitely comes off that he's very much older and like a little bit more seasoned than a lot of the other TVA people. Then he has knowledge of a lot of stuff from Earth, which I think is a big flag for his character, right? Because like obviously, I feel like if anybody's going to know what a fish is, it's Mobius, right? Like, Mobius would know that kind of stuff. And I guess you could explain that away with him being, like, a field agent or whatever. But I think there's a little bit more going on there than just him, like, being knowledgeable from going to different timelines and stuff.
Yeah, so that does have me interested into what Owen Wilson's characters, or what Mobius is going to be doing in the show, as he, you know, because he does have questions as well, like Loki does with everything going on. Him being hopeful too is a good touch to go with Loki's character.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, you know, Owen Wilson's a solid pick.
Yeah,
for the show.
I really like it.
I'm really digging him.
I think Owen Wilson's also really fun. Like, his character's really fun because he's a step ahead of Loki. Because even though Loki thinks he's got the upper hand, it's like, no, I know who you are. Like, like there's no getting around Mobius, man. Like he's too good. He's too smart.
So I'm really looking forward to the next episode. I really want to see what this repercussion thing is going to be, and where exactly did this Lady Loki go. And really dive into all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think we've seen a shot in the trailers from where they're going to be at. It's the shot that I thought for a while was Black Widow on Vormir.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's Black Widow. I think it's Lady Loki. I'm pretty sure at this point, and I think that might be where they're going to end. Like, that's where they go.
Or what if it's, like we were saying earlier, what if they bring in Frigga?
Oh, yeah. That could be a scene with Frigga.
And that could be her there.
Yep. Let's see. What trailer was that in? Was that in this one?
Yeah, I was about to look that up. I think the shot where we see him, I think it's the second trailer. No. First. Wait.
I'm looking at the one first that's on December 10th. Gosh, these ads, man. I swear.
Oh,
Fast and the Furious 9. Wow, great, cool. Come on.
Well, okay, so I pulled it up. It was the April 5th trailer at 2:06. Yeah, he's sitting towards the other character who looks just like ScarJo. Because like the outfit is reminiscent to Black Widow. The hair is Avengers 1 Black Widow.
Okay. Oh, this shot's not in the show so far. That's going to be interesting. There's a shot in the first trailer of Loki back in his Asgardian stuff standing in front of a mirror, but that's not in the show yet.
Okay.
That's interesting.
And you know what? Taking a good look at this shot, yeah, it's really not the Soul Stone realm or anything, or like Vormir, because like when we look in the background, it's like, oh, that's clearly a forest back there where all these lights are coming out of. Yeah, it's a different
there's like a couple of pipes back there too.
Yeah,
that's weird.
So maybe, I mean, you know, she can.
I think that
if it is Lady Loki, she could change appearances too.
Yeah,
right?
she could always show up as somebody else. I'm interested. This is very intriguing. I'm real curious about. Oh, and then there's going to be like. Oh, that's interesting. This next shot is Loki standing in New York. but New York is just like decimated. Like Avengers Tower is there and it's all messed up.
Oh.
Yeah. Like it looks like a bomb went off or something. When's that gonna happen? That's weird. Okay, and then there's the DB Cooper shots. This is in the first trailer. Oh, here, look at this. Oh, okay, this next shot right here is part of it. Okay, so if you go to the December 10th trailer, the first thing that's weird is the broken up New York scene. It's at 2:04. Okay, so like New York's like all decimated and destroyed, and Loki's like getting up from something. And then at 2:10, we get another angle on where that purple location is, like where Lady Loki's at, and like Loki's running towards like a ship or something, and there's like rockets coming down and stuff. Huh.
Well, the shot prior to that scene of what looks like Black Widow, I mean, there is that planet being destroyed.
Uh-huh.
So that could be debris of the planet.
That would make sense.
That's falling down.
Oh, like it's another...
It's
another apocalypse event.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely all part of that same sequence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's... Huh.
So looking at that shot, the wide shot looks like it's a mining area.
Yeah.
That he's running through and... Okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be where he meets up with Lady Loki, is going to be in that scene. Okay, and then there's the scene of him in Pompeii, and then he's fighting these weird dudes in, like, ninja suits?
Yeah, okay, at first I thought it was just, like, some alien, but...
Maybe that...
that's in the same scene as the President Loki bit at the end of the trailer. Yeah. Because they're, like, in a destroyed building. It's like, okay, it's like an apocalypse place.
Yeah.
All these guys have like Mad Max outfits on and stuff.
I'm super intrigued. Like rewatching the trailer and like combing through it, I'm like, oh, there's a lot more going on here.
Well, now, especially now, right? Understanding some context with the show.
Yep. Boy, this is gonna get. I think this is gonna get wild. I'm super interested now. Oh, I wanted to bring up also the scene of Loki. Well, first, I love the scene where Loki has to sign papers for like everything he's ever said, and then it just casually prints out another sheet, which is pretty hilarious. But then I'm also a huge fan of like the metal detector thing, where it's just like, have you now or do you ever believe that you have been a robot?
Right, yeah.
He's like, what if I am a robot? And he's like, then the machine will destroy you and you won't exist anymore. Step through. and then he gets like the little printout of the picture and the guy's like, all right, here we go. And then Loki's like, what's that? And he's like, it's your time variance scan or something. And then Loki's like, what's that? He's like, see you later, bye. And then like Loki just gets shunted out like. And I'm wondering if this version of Loki's going to exist after the show's over, or if it's just going to be this and that's it. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, like, is there a season 2, or is he showing up, like, when they do the crazy multiverse stuff, post Doctor Strange 2 or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, they said he won't show up in Thor Love and Thunder, like, they for sure said that he's not showing up there, but that doesn't mean he won't show up in Doctor Strange. Or Spider-Man, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we end with him. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would be okay if it's open-ended to where he just stays working at the TVA.
Well, I'm just curious if the TVA is even going to be a thing once this show is over.
After this?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that the TVA may just not exist after this show. Like, once the show is over, the TVA is over also.
If they end up doing Secret Wars, right, with the whole multiversal war, I'm sure they're going to have to step in at some point, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would imagine that would be a return of the TVA.
Yeah. And then maybe that's when Loki comes back, where he's just like, I don't know, he's like a high-ranking person there. You know, like it's a big 180 for a lot of people seeing him there like that.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be way into that. Yeah. I'd be cool with that. I'm curious if they're actually building up to a Secret Wars, because some stuff is like they could be building up to that, but then other stuff is like they're building up to Young Avengers, and like there's some people saying that this could be a lead in to like a kid Loki, like this show could take us to there, at some point if we're just seeing like multiple versions of Loki and stuff, which I'm like that could be interesting. But I don't know. Young Avengers are just not something I'm super into. So if they go that direction, I
mean, not with the
interested.
roster that they have right now. Yeah, I can pass on that.
Yeah, what is it? America Chavez,
Miss Marvel,
Kid Loki potentially, Wiccan.
Ironheart, can't forget. Well, I think with that, it's safe to say we could wrap up the episode. I don't really have much else to say about Loki right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the next episode, and potentially what we'll be seeing in a couple weeks also.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening soon, so...
Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. There will be pictures from an event that is going to have potentially a Black Widow at the event, so stay tuned for that, I think.
Yeah, right on, guys. Yeah, we'll be posting on our social media with that stuff when we get to that. And so while we're waiting for that, Jake, where can we find you at?
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. Shattered Past episode 4 from the Power Rangers stuff on Crimson Vision Studios is still doing really good and getting a lot of views. And we're really stoked for getting episode 5. It's currently being written. So episode 5 will be coming pretty shortly, I think. And then I've got some other projects in the works with them over there, Crimson Vision. So keep an eye out over there. Hey, Danny, where can we find you?
Yeah, man. So you can find me at Negator7 anywhere you go. I beat Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Fantastic game. So I'm going to be posting a bunch of stuff I took from photo mode. I'm a big fan of photo mode in games. I like to take my time and go through that stuff.
Yeah. I always like the pictures you post, man. They're always super fun to see.
Yeah, man, because, it's in there, and this is a mainline Sony game, so that means it has the right amount of filters and lighting equipment you can use to, spruce up whatever you want for your photos you're taking in the game. For updates and stuff, Marvel Talk Cast on Instagram. We'll let you know when episodes drop, and then you can send us an email at marveltalkpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, how you're loving Loki, we'd love to hear about all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm back to being excited about a Marvel thing, like a mainline Marvel property. That's the biggest thing with Loki for me, is that it's a good time, it's fun, and I'm just happy I'm enjoying another Marvel property. It's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way.
And I'm just happy it's not bogged down by any crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like
with the other shows?
Yeah. I don't feel like this show needs to make a statement. That's kind of where I'm at.
So again, thank you guys for listening to the episode. We'll be back real soon with more Loki talk, as well as some other stuff that comes out through the weeks. So right on, guys. We're signing out, and until next time,
we are burdened with glorious purpose.